statement is, for the given set of 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2, we are supposed to find out the distance between these 2 points. Let us split this problem into 3 parts. The first part is read inputs. That is x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2. So first we need to read these 2 points from the user. The second part is find out the distance. And the third part is print the result. Print distance. So these are the 3 parts. The first part is read input from the user. Here we use input statement to read data from the user, but here the user is going to enter both the values at the same time, separated by space, like this. Suppose the value is 10 comma 20, then user is going to enter the value as 10 space 20. Actually the input statement will read it as 10 20 as strings. Input will always take the data as string. Suppose you want to do math with these numbers, then we need to convert the red values into either float or integer before we use them in the math. So here we are going to read x1 comma y1. See, here na input we need to split the input because they need to be separated, right? Like 10 20, if you don't use any character inside split na, then it is going to uh, separate the values based on the space. So here the value is separated by space when user enters the first point. Similarly, second point also is going to enter the same way. So what we are doing is we are splitting the input and saving them as x1 comma y1. Similarly, x2 y2 also will read from the user in the same way. And before that now we need to provide some information to the user, like what values he is supposed to enter when we wait for this input statement, and what value he is supposed to enter when we wait for this input statement. So for that we are going to add one print statement before that. Enter space separated values of x1 comma y1 space separated values of x2 comma y2 in case of second point. So when user sees this information, he will enter x1 y1, and when user sees this information, he is going to enter x2 and y2. So reading inputs is done. And we need to remember that here x1 is in the form of string. Whatever number the user enters, it is in the form of string. Similarly, y1, x2, y2 also. The formula to find out the distance between 2 points is square root of x2 minus x1 square, x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So this is the formula to find out the distance between 2 points, x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square, and then we need to take the square root of this. The program to find out the distance. First we need to find out x2 minus x1 square. We will use Python's built-in method POW to find out the square of x2 minus x1. First we need to give the base value, that is x2 minus x1, and then we need to give the exponent. Similarly, let us calculate y2 minus y1 square. Now let us calculate the distance. Distance equal to square root of sqrt. See, this sqrt is not a built-in Python method. So we did import this method from a library called math. So we can now we can use if we can use square root because we did the import here. Now this is square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Here before using these x2 x1 y2 y1, we need to convert them into float, because when we read these values from input, they will be read as strings. So first we need to convert them into float before using in math. Okay, so now distance is square root of x2 minus x1 square y2 minus x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Let us print this value. We will do formatted print so that we can display the variables within the wherever we need in the text. So there is some indentation problem. Okay. So the distance between the given 2 points, this text will be displayed as it is, and whatever we place inside this flower brace, it will consider this as variable, and the content of the distance will get displayed here. So let us run this program. First it is asking x1 y1. Let us give 10 20 as first point, and second point is 30 40.5, because it will take floating point numbers also. And here is the distance between the given 2 points. There are so many digits after the point, right? Decimal point, right? So let us truncate it into two digits, because this is not in a readable format. For that we can use a built-in function called round. The first parameter is the number we are supposed to do this round operation, and the second one is a number of digits you want to display after the decimal point. So let us display this rounded distance here instead of normal distance. If you run this program, let us enter the values, same values. See, this is truncated to 2 decimal points now. So this is because we did round the result into up to 2 decimal points. And this is the end of the program.